So Lake George thought they didn't need Canadians. Now, they're starting to realize they were wrong. A few months ago, I covered a report from Lake George where they seemed confident that they'd be fine with just domestic tourism. Kind of like what this guy said.
Also, of course, like we could survive without a ton of international tourism. I think the tourism industry in America, and I don't know this as a fact, but I think our tourism industry is more based on domestic tourism. Like during COVID,
for sure.
They may not have been as arrogant as this guy, but there was a bit of arrogance, like they could just move on without us. But today, that tone has changed. 2 new reports came out, and it's clear that they're feeling the impact. I'll go through both reports, and I'll try not to say I told you so. No promises though. And stick around, because at the end, another state has completely given up on trying to win Canadians back. And they ended up waving the white flag. Good luck to them. Before we get into it, this photo you're seeing of the grizzly bear are taken from my mom, probably from one of her trips on the island again. When grizzlies are nearby, you really don't want to be that close. So thankfully, her camera zoom lens did the work. Thanks again, Mom, for the great shots. All right, let's get into the Lake George reports.
New at 6, the summer season is one of the busiest times of the year for Lake George. But this summer, businesses are experiencing a tourism slump. News 10 ABC's Amber Fisher is live in the studio with more on this story. Amber.
Trishna, Canadian tourists have long been a key part of Lake George's summer season, boosting sales and tax revenue and keeping local businesses busy. But this year, some shop owners are noticing a drop, especially those who count on that cross-border crowd to stay afloat.
The owner of Chef M Grillhouse told me that he thinks that this is the slowest season Lake George has had in 30 years, and it's more than just customers.
We have decreased too. So around 40-50% decrease on our income too.
Wow, that's just for this restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's at 40-50% decrease as compared to last summer.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
We keep hearing the same thing from the US media, that travel from Canada is only down maybe 20-30%. It's completely different than what the Canadian media portrays as well. It's always downplayed, like it's no big deal. But if you talk to the local business owners, especially near the border, their numbers are always going to tell a different story. Take this restaurant owner, for example. He says his business is down 40-50% compared to last year. He relies heavily on the customers, and that 20-30% decrease hits him a lot harder than the border stats suggest. Same with my old parcel receiving company in Blaine, Washington, the one I used to go to all the time. The owner stated that 99% of his business comes from Canadians, and now he's down more than 50% in terms of business revenue. So even if the media wants to frame it that it's just a small drop coming across the border, it's still having huge impacts on the real businesses.
But this is not only for here. Generally, all restaurants and other businesses, they have decreased.
Robin Kiravalli, co-owner of Mezzaluna, agrees.
So Canadian tourism is definitely down this summer. Every 4 tables or so, there's at least 1 Canadian table out of those. So that is definitely not happening this summer. I would say that we are definitely down a good 75%.
Many young adults also come from around the world to Lake George looking for a summer job, but that's been harder to find recently.
I would say the town is tough. A lot of kids coming in, students from different countries looking for summer work and seasonal jobs that are having tough times finding second and third jobs to make a little extra money while they're here. So I feel like a lot of places are definitely staffing less.
I haven't even thought about this, but it really puts things into perspective. With the way ICE and CBP are acting right now, who from anywhere else would actually want to take a summer job in the US? Imagine going to Lake George just to try to find a seasonal job. You get through the level 1 CBP border and you think you're in the clear. Then you get settled in, and now you're facing level 2, being surrounded by 77 million Trump supporters who don't want immigrants or people of color around. And if that wasn't enough, level 3, CBP and ICE showing up again. This isn't some kind of video game I'm describing. It's actually what's happening in the US right now.
But the restaurant owners I spoke to have not lost hope for the season.
We're seeing a lot of people come from New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, stuff like that. So we're kind of seeing an uptick there. And we're guessing that it's possibly because folks are deciding to travel more closer to their homes.
And even without as many Canadian visitors this season, Lake George remains a capital region summer staple. Owners say that they are adapting, but they are still hoping to see the Canadian crowd return.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Miss News Reporter, but I don't think that's going to happen. If you're not seeing Canadians now, during the peak summer travel season, when school is out and people actually want to travel, I really doubt any Canadians are suddenly going to show up during the winter and fall. It's tough watching what feels like a divorce between two countries. And once that kind of damage is done, it's nearly impossible to earn that trust back. Now, let's look at the second report.
President Donald Trump is proposing an increase on tariffs focused on Canadian goods, but new data from U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer's office shows that if the tariffs go up, tourism will go down.
Not even 15 seconds in, and I have to correct them. Whether the tariffs go up, down, sideways, or disappear completely, tourism is still going to decline. And for me personally, I don't care what happens to the tariffs. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, probably get retracted, canceled, delayed, whatever else. But none of it will change how I feel. I'm still not going to the US. Because the issue for me isn't the tariffs, Ms. News Anchor. It's the president and his 77 million people who've put him there. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me or if I stand alone on this.
Senator Schumer says Canadian border crossings continue to plummet as the president threatens to further increase tariffs next week to 35%. Tourism from Canada to the U.S. is down nearly 15%. That's according to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
So according to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Canada traffic is only down 15%. But Canadian media, they're reporting numbers anywhere from 30 to 43%, depending on the land crossing or air routes. I'm confused. It's the same border, right? Going south, we're reporting 30 to 40% down, but somehow, when we cross, it's only 15%. Maybe the rest are just being denied at the border. Now, I'm just being a smartass. But anyways, this feels like a classic case of don't believe CBP. Let me know what you think in the comments, especially about the 15% number that they're pushing.
In April, we spoke with the Lake George Mayor, Ray Perry, about what he was observing ahead of the summer season, which usually brings in a large number of tourists from Canada.
They're important to the vitality of our tourist economy.
And you want them to keep coming?
Love them. Love them to keep coming. Please, keep coming.
I only got one word for this. No. Just no.
You are welcome here, no matter what anyone says.
Well, News Channel 13 had checked in with the hotels in the area, and they told us they were seeing cancellations this year. That message from a couple of months ago. So we reached out again today to Lake George tourism officials, and we learned lodging revenue is actually up 1%. We're told April experienced a decline, largely because the numbers from last April were so much larger than usual for that time of year, and that's because of the solar eclipse. However, through May, overall visitor spending through credit card purchases did fall by 5%.
So they're trying to spin it in a way saying that the hotel is up 1% compared to last year, but that was because of a solar eclipse. Meanwhile, credit card revenue is down. This is the same hotel from a previous report that I did that claimed that they were just fine with domestic tourism. My guess? They're still in deep denial. But what really stood out to me in both reports was the restaurants. Because restaurants, that's something every tourist needs to use. I mean, we all have to eat, right? If restaurant revenue is down over 50%, you know something is wrong. But I'll wait for the next headline from Lake George's hotel. We're still doing fine. We're still doing fine must be the direction of the wind that's helping us. Now, I don't have a video clip for the next one, but one of our viewers sent this over, and it's worth mentioning. The state of Montana has officially given up on trying to convince Canadians to visit for tourism. I'm not going to read the whole thing out here, but I've linked the article in the video description if you want to check it out for yourself. I wanted to bring it up because it really shows something important. Canadians are holding the line. No amount of marketing, billboards, discounts, or flashy tourism ads is going to change our mind. This isn't a temporary dip. This is a generational shift in attitude. And Montana seems to be the first state just to throw in the towel. Then again, Montana is a red state, so personally, I'm not too concerned about what their tourism officials or government have to say. If you want to read the article, you'll find the link in the description. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to help spread the message, and also share it with your friends as well. And if you're still here and you want to see more videos, check out the ones showing up on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.